Were you aware of the fact that, without you ever being aware of it, failing to acknowledge the concealed power of erections in women has the potential to be quietly destroying your sex life, your level of closeness, and even the likelihood that you will be able to conceive? Imagine the following situation. You are in the middle of an intense moment, with your bodies entwined and your hearts beating rapidly. However, there is something remarkable that is taking place, or that is failing to take place, beneath the surface of things. For much too long, we have been preoccupied with the most evident thing, the erection of the male penis, that unmistakable and brazen rush. Nevertheless, at this very moment, as we are speaking, women possess their own secret cache of erectile tissue, which is bursting with possibilities. It is not merely a matter of pleasure. It is a revolutionary development that will have a significant impact on reproduction, bonding, and the experience of pure, unadulterated joy. It's really incredible, don't you think? Researchers at Harvard have created a map of this secret erectile network, which may increase the chances of conception in natural encounters by as much as 30%. But here's the thing. What if your body isn't working at its full potential? Make sure to stick with me, as we are going to get deeply into the anatomy, the fireworks of excitement, and the reasons why this extra is anything but. If you are prepared to discover the truth about the untapped potential that your body possesses, please leave a remark below with the word yes. We will go back to the fundamentals, but we will also make the drama more intense. Picture your reproductive organs as if they were ancient blueprints that were drawn up while you were in the womb. These blueprints would show two paths that start out as one embryonic tissue and then split off from each other. That is homology in action. The testicles resemble the ovaries, and the penis like the clitoris. Both of them are equally capable of producing an erection, and their cavernous tissues are ready to swell with blood like balloons that are concealed and inflate when they are put under pressure. However, what about the clitoris? It is the main attraction of this performance, a cylindrical powerhouse that is more stealthy than its male counterpart, but is no less fierce. Begin by examining the crura, which are the leg-like extensions that serve as anchors to the ischial and pubic bones located on each side of the body. Imagine yourself performing a dissection. You would peel back the layers and remove the outer labia as if you were unwrapping a present that you were not supposed to open. The right crus glistens beneath the probe, snaking in a victorious arc from bone to joy. From below, it is a searing discovery. The political left? We chopped away the bulbospongiosus and ischiocavernosus muscles, which are slim skeletal muscles that were shrouded by your erection's loyal guards, squeezing tightly to capture blood like a vice on victory. These ruffians are not only attractive, but they also maintain the swell, transforming brief sensations into pulsing victories. The clitoral body, which is comparable to the penile shaft, is a stiff rod that we are all too familiar with. It is formed when the crura converge. And what about crowning it? The glans, which is the very tip of pure feeling, is visible at the top where the inner labia meet. According to scans performed by the Mayo Clinic, the clitoris contains twice as many nerve endings as the penis. When it is dissected, the clitoris is exposed and electrified, teeming with 8,000 nerve endings. But, in life, it is hooded and modest. If you touch it, lightning will strike. How does the magic begin to burn, though? There are two ways, and they inevitably intersect with one another: physical explosions or cerebral seduction. Scenario number 1. Skin comes into contact with skin. The glans is touched lightly by fingertips and the labia quiver. Signals are transmitted quickly by the pudendal nerve. Indeed, the word pudendal comes from the Old Latin word for shameful, because anatomists of ancient times were prudes. Directly to the sacral spine, which is composed of S2, S3, and S4. Do you recall the chant that we used to say in medical school? S2, S3, keep the PP off your knee. Turn the situation around. S2, S3, lift the clitoris as high as possible. Reflex arcs fire, and no veto from the brain is required. Erectile tissues are flooded as a spinal shortcut floods back into them. Even those who have survived spinal injuries have the potential to ignite here, which is evidence that it is wired for independence. And yet, what about the brain? It is the quintessential co-pilot, and it supercharges the journey. Scenario 2. A whisper. A dream. That seductive fragrance. Desire blossoms on the upper level of the house. As the signals cascade down, they eventually converge at the sacral hubs. The release of nitric oxide, which is known as the king of vasodilators, is triggered by neurotransmitters. Slice the clitoral body in a transverse direction, and the twin corpora cavernosa will look back at you. The corpora cavernosa are vascular sponges that are full of sinusoids, which are hollow chambers that are just waiting to be filled with blood. Nitric oxide, you say? It causes smooth muscle to relax, widens the arteries, and floods the spaces. Boom, that's great. According to research conducted by the National Institute on Aging, there is a 50 to 100% increase in volume, which is not the same as being penile proportion. Awakening, swollen, and alive, your clitoris is ready for action. At this point, the million-dollar issue that is gnawing away at us is whether or not this erection in a female, along with the climax that it stimulates, actually makes a difference when it comes to the process of producing a baby. Or is it simply an indulgent dessert? If you are desperate for the answer, then type reveal. From a technical standpoint, no, it is not a make or break situation. Sperm only requires a ticket that allows it to enter the vagina. Fertilization is able to join the party without any fireworks. However, if you ignore it, you will not be able to take advantage of the multiplier impact. Maria, a 42-year-old executive from Chicago with a feisty personality, makes her entrance. The years that she spent engaging in quickies left her feeling dissatisfied, and her cycles were unpredictable. In addition, she realized that targeted arousal, rather than penetration alone, was the key to her erectile edge. Boom. Conception after trying for 18 months. Her doctor at the Blue Zones Institute nodded in agreement. Sperm are propelled upward like a uterine escalator by orgasmic contractions, which increases the likelihood of conception by 15 to 20%, according to information from the Mayo Clinic. What is the reason for this? As you reach the peak of sexual arousal, your pelvic floor muscles, which are like Kegels on steroids, begin to pulse rhythmically with a period of 0.8 seconds between each pulse. This pulsing action milks sperm toward the cervix. The cervical OS expands to an extent that it becomes a gateway that is yawningly wide. The pituitary gland, which is the source of the hormone oxytocin, the supreme hormone of love, releases a flood of oxytocin, which in turn causes the uterus to contract in waves. These waves then transport swimmers to the egg. The fertility laboratories at Harvard have recorded it. When it comes to success rates, natural coitus accompanied by female orgasm is superior to insemination by 25%. Why must the edge be utilized? The subtle wink of evolution. The more pleasure one experiences, the more often one will engage in that experience. Post-orgasm glow? That's a real thing, Sylvia insists. Sylvia, a yoga teacher in Seattle, Washington, is 35 years old. It got me addicted to having weekly adventures. By springtime, I will be pregnant. According to a survey conducted by the National Institute on Aging in 2023, women who have regular peaks report conception rates that are 40% greater. This is a startling statistic. Babies are the result of bliss, which is something that your body is aware of. However, hold on, because there is still more erectile real estate available. The vestibular bulbs are two sponges that are located on either side of the vagina and are analogous to the penile bulbs. When they are dissected, they feel like velvet to the touch of the probe, and they are covered by the bulbospongiosus muscle. Should they be filled to the brim? The canal contracts in a way that is similar to how a custom-made glove fits, which increases friction for the purpose of his release as well as hers. Walter, who is 68 years old, and his wife Elena, who is 65 years old, reside in a remote area of Texas. For decades, they had been floating without direction because of the vanilla flavor. She directed her attention to the stimulation of the bulbs, and as a result, she experienced a resurgence of energy and a strengthening of her relationships. He laughs and says, "It's like our bodies high-fived each other." Science is in support of it. Bulb erection increases stimulation, which results in synchronized climaxes and an increase in oxytocin levels. Female erections are not only a trivial matter, they are fuel, ranging from motivation to mechanics. They turn up the dial on desire, making certain that you pursue the spark frequently enough to guarantee that you will experience serendipitous ovulation. Picture your stretch of land as if it were a river. Erection acts as a dam, blocking the passage of sperm, whereas climax releases the river, allowing sperm to flow freely home. If it were not present, the state of being stagnant. Do you have it with you? From rapids to rapture. So what are you planning to do tomorrow? Begin with the basics. You should map out your landscape tonight. Lightly stroke the glands in circular motions, which will gradually develop a tactile reaction. Take a deep breath and let your imagination go wild, and allow the messages of the sacrum to shout out. Kegel clenches. Strengthen those guardians by having them do 10 sets of 5-second holds 3 times a day. Keep a journal of your peaks and valleys, and take note of the cycles in your fertility. If the swells start to falter, it is recommended that she consult a pelvic physical therapist. According to recent research, sildenafil, which is a relative of Viagra, has also been shown to be extremely effective for her. We have successfully deciphered the code. The empire that you have established for yourself in the erectile dysfunction market is not something that you can choose to do or not. It is a treasure trove of evolutionary potential. Light it up and watch as intimacy erupts, connections become unbreakable, and futures become fruitful. If this has completely changed your perspective on sex and conception, then be sure to hit that like button. Your engagement will help us uncover more realities. Sign up for notifications so that you don't miss out on the deep dives that are free of censorship, as the secrets that your body has to offer are not going to wait for you. Please leave a comment that says "erected" below. What is one thing that you are currently feeling really passionate about? Be sure to share this wake-up call with a spouse who is in need of it. Spread the surge. The palace of your dreams is waiting for you. What is it that is preventing you from moving forward?